all we're going to do in this week is to do the descriptive analysis. We're going to describe data. And so our assignment is on this kind of data that is given, which is without weight tracking system and with weight tracking system. We're given data. And all we're going to do is to do some descriptive analysis. And we have a number of items that we are supposed to do. We have item A to G. So I'm going to work on the data to show you how you can approach this question by using Excel functions. So I will take part of the data. I'm not going to take all of it, so I'm going to go up to this data and I'm going to copy this and paste it in Excel. So what you can do is you can just copy all the data and paste it in Excel. So I'm going to insert a column. So in this case, we are supposed to compare the mean and median of the first variable and the second variable. So here we can look for the mean, or we can say average, and also median. We can work on this manually, and also we can use Excel function. So you can see that we have values from 1 to, and let me list them, up to 6. So we could find mean by using Excel function, where you can put equal sign and type average. You can type AVER, and so you can see we have average here. We have a number of choices, but please just select the average and select these values and close the bracket. Enter. And let me take this to 2 decimal points. So we have 33.83. I can copy this function to this variable because the values correspond to each other. And in that case, I could just click here and drag to the other variable, and you can get the average. Or you can still put the equal sign and type average, click on the average, select these values and close the bracket, and you'll get exactly the same average. We can also work on the median. Just put equal sign, type median, select these values, don't include the average, but just select the values and close the bracket, and then you can get the median. Remember, median is the middle value. And so you can copy the formula. If you click here, you see this point here, drag to the other side, you can get the median, which is 16. But you could get this manually as well. So let me try to do this manually. So I'm going to copy those values and paste them here. So for the average, first of all, I'll find the sum, meaning that I will add all these. So I will put equal sign and type summation, and the summation will be we add all these values, and so we get the total. The total value, when you add all this, you'll get 203. We can count these values to know the total. So I'm going to put equal sign and count. There will definitely be 6. So if you select these values, there will actually be 6. And so to find the average, all you're going to do is to take the sum divided by their number. And so I'll put equal sign there. Take the sum of the values, divide by their total, which is 6. And if you enter, you'll get exactly the same. So you can do the same for the for the other variable, which is with weight tracking system. But we don't really need to go through this process, so that's why we use the function for average. And so you put equal sign average, and so you will select all the values, you will get exactly the same value. And also you can find a median for these values and you'll get the median. So now all we have to do is to compare between the two, and you can see that we have the average for the waiting time for the without weight tracking system is 33.83, while for the other, the average is 20.5, and median for the first variable is 27.5, and for the second variable is 16. So we're done with the first part of this question. You're supposed to include calculated values in your answer, meaning that you have to show your formulas. And this actually was supposed to be the formulas, but you can still show how you work on this. If you're using the Excel function, then that will be fine. For B, we are asked to compare the range, variance, and standard deviation. So I'm going to start with range. Now, to get range, first of all, we need to know the highest values for both and the lowest values. So we're going to find the highest value for without weighting tracking system, and also the highest value for with weight tracking system. And so we're going to find the maximum value. And in this case, all you're going to do is just put equal sign, type max. And this one, you use this function that shows the highest value. And so you will select your values, make sure that you're not including median, close the bracket and enter. So the highest value here is 67. What about the for the other variable? The other variable, if you can click and hold down here and drag, then you will see that the highest value for this is 37. But we need to find the minimum value as well. So we need to find the minimum. And in this case, if you click, if you put the equal sign and type minimum, you'll see that we have minimum here, minimum function. And all you have to do is to select all the values and find the minimum value. So in this case, the minimum value is 17. Let me click here, hold down and drag. Then it will show that the minimum value is 11. Let me highlight this differently so that we won't include those values in our calculations. So once we have minimum and maximum values, we know that range is the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value. And so in this case, range is, we put equal sign to get range, take maximum value minus minimum value and enter. So I'll repeat again. To get range, you will take maximum value minus minimum value. And so all you have to do is to put equal sign to create the function. Just click on 67 minus, put the minus there, minus 17, and then you will get 50. So that is the range. You can do the same for the other variable. If you hold down and drag to the right, so you'll see the range here is 26. It is 37 minus 11, meaning that it is the maximum value minus the minimum value. We will find variance. And so with the variance, just use the function, put equal sign and type variance. So you will select the VAR, and it is the variance of these values. you close the bracket and enter. So the variance will be 356.57, and also you can get variance for the other variable, which will be 118.70. So we can also find standard deviation. To get standard deviation, we'll use the function. You put equal sign, type stde. So just select stdev. You could use stdev, meaning standard deviation of the sample or standard deviation of the population, but just select stdev for now, and select all the values and close the bracket. You'll find standard deviation, which is let me put 2 decimal points, so it is 18.88, and you can drag this to the other variables, so you find the standard deviation is 1089. So to get variance, actually all you have to do if you have standard deviation is to just make the square. You square this value and you will get the variance. Let's try to validate that. So I will copy this value here and square it. So let me put equal sign, click on this value and enter. So I have copied it here. And I would like to get the variance by making the square and by squaring this value. Let's click here, put equal sign, click this value and make it squared. And so you can see we got exactly the same variance just by making standard deviation squared. Also, you can get standard deviation if you find the square root of the variance. So let me copy the value for the variance, this one here. And to get the standard deviation, let me find the square root of this value. And to get the square root of that value, type sqrt and click on this value, close the bracket. If you enter, you can see that we will get the standard deviation, which is the same as this one. So standard deviation can be obtained by the square root of the variance. But if you're given standard deviation, you can find variance by making standard deviation value squared. So anyways, we have already found range variance and the standard deviation, and you can compare them together. So let's go to the next question. We're asked to compare the coefficient of variation of both. So what is the formula for the coefficient of variation? Let me type CV. The formula for coefficient of variation, you will take mean divided by the standard deviation times 100. That means you will find the percentage value, and so click equal sign, take mean or average divided by the standard deviation, and so you get 1.79, and I'll change from number to percentage, and so it will be 179.17%. And if you drag this to the other side, you will get 188.16%. So you can compare the coefficient of variation for both. So the next item is to compare the 98th percentile of for the two variables. 98th percentile for the two variables. And so here we are going to have percentile. the percentiles. Let's see if we can get the 90th percentile. With the data that we have, I'm not sure if we can get 98th percentile, but let's use the function. So use percentile exc function, select all your values because that's what it says, the first array. Here the array, put comma sign and type k, which is 98th percentile, and so you'll put actually 0.9, and this will not give you the values because we have just few values, and so that will not work. But I'm sure if you use the whole, all values which are given, you will get the 98th percentile. But let's try to find something else. Let's say 25th percentile. And so I'll put equal sign and type percentile and use percentile.exc and select all these values, put comma sign, and then for the k, just put 0.25, close the bracket, and here you will get 19.25. You could also find 58th percentile, which is the middle value. And in this case, just put equal sign, type percentile, exc, and select all the values you have, put a comma sign, and then type 0.5. And that's the 58th percentile, 0.5. If you enter, you'll see that you have 27.5. And this will be the same as the median. So just copy all your values and find the 98th percentile and then compare between the two. So remember, if you have 58th percentile for the first variable, you can click here and drag to the other variable. You have 16, and also you can drag the other one and get 11.75. So, but the question asks you to find the 98th percentile. So that's what you can do. Now the next question says determine the three quartiles, quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3. So those are the quarters. So let's see with quartile 1. For quartile 1, just put equal sign, type quartile, and please select quartile.exc, and so find the quartile for your values. Just select all your values, and that is the array of your values. Then choose which quartile you are looking for. Is it the first quartile? That will be the same as 25th percentile. If it is the second quartile, that's the median value, and that will be 58th percentile. And if it's the third quartile, it will be the 75th percentile. So in this case, we're going to just click 1 and close the bracket, or you can select the first quartile and close the bracket. If you enter, you'll see that this will give you 19.25, which is the same as 25th percentile. And so you can copy this to the other side and you have 11.75, which is exactly the same. If you're looking for the second quartile, which for the second quartile, just put the equal sign, type quartile, and select the same function. And in this case, you will select all the values, put comma sign, and it shows that that's the second quartile. It is the same as median value or the 5th percentile. So I'm going to select 2, close the bracket, and enter. You'll see that we have 27.5, which is the same as the median. And you can copy the formula all the way to the other side, which will give you 16, and that's the same as the median. And let's go with third quartile. And so you just use the same function, which is quartile.exe, and then select all your values, and then put comma sign, select the third quartile. I'll close the bracket and enter. You will have 49.75, and also you can copy this to the other side and you have 32.5. So we are done with the quartiles. The next item that we need to calculate or to develop is the box plot. And so to get the box plot will be, it's very easy if you're using Mac or Windows. And I'm using Mac, but also I'll show you how to find the box plot by using Windows later. So to plot the box plot, all you have to do is to select the values. And in this case, we'll just select these values or the values for the first variable, and then click Insert. So if you're using Mac, it's easier to find or to plot the box plot. And all you have to do is go to the Insert, select all your values, click on Insert. And then you can go here. If you click, you will see that we have histogram. Also, we have Pareto chart, and then we have box and whisker plot. So please select box and whisker plot. And so you will have your box and whisker plot here. But I want you to do some changes. Click here on these values, double click, and then go to the format axis and click on the axis option. So in the axis option, you can select the minimum value. And remember, our minimum value is 17. And so I'm going to type 17. And also the maximum value is 67. So you can see that we have our box and whisker plot. This is what we can create for now as box and whisker plot. As I said, I'll show you how to use Windows when I get access to Windows. And so that's all for now. And I'm sure that you'll be able to complete the rest of the assignment. Thank you.